You're tuned in to the Foxboro BeatCast, a podcast for Patriots fans by Patriots fans. And here are your hosts, is Kaleb McChesney and Ryan Moore.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Foxboro BeatCast. I'm your host, Kaleb and Chesney. Alongside me, my co-host, as usual, Ryan Moore there at the bottom. We'll address the guy to my right, left, whatever, in a second. Ryan, after recording last night and publishing this morning, we are back again for a little bit of a bonus. How you doing? How you feeling?
Feeling great, man. Feeling great. Wish the Patriots did a little bit more on the waiver wire than what they did. They made 4 moves, but I wish they did what the Panthers did and got a few other guys. But outside of that, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling fucking fantastic.
Well, we're not here to talk about the Patriots specifically today. We've done that. We did that. We're done. We're done talking about the losers. We're going to talk about some teams
that the Patriots claim is going to the Hall of Fame. That's my take.
Who's going to the Hall of Fame?
Every player the Patriots claims today.
Got it. We just got our blue chip left tackle and Zach, whatever his name was.
No,
whatever.
It's a buddy from Denver. His metrics actually look good.
Yeah, but he can't play left. But anyways,
that's fine.
Anyways, we are here with a man, a myth, a legend. Got his own YouTube channel called The Big Zo and El Cabra Sports Talk. You can find it under the Friends of the Show page somewhere down on our channel. It is one Alonzo Maestas, Big Zo. Big Zo, welcome back to the Foxboro BeatCast.
It has been way too fucking long. I'm glad to be here. I haven't recorded on Big Zo and Cabra in a minute, so I got to get on that again. But you sent me that text. Let's do this. I was supposed to show up a couple weeks ago. Fucking killer migraine today. I'm ready to rock and fucking roll. Let's go.
Let's party. All right. So today we have a little bit of fun. We are going to go through our NFL predictions. Going to go by division, talk about what we kind of expect, who's going to win it, who's going to represent them in the playoffs for any wild card teams. And then we'll go into the awards, the MVPs, the Offensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, stuff like that. Give you a Super Bowl winner. And yeah, we'll have some fun along the way. So Big Zo, Ryan, you ready to party?
Been ready. Let's fucking go, baby.
Let's go.
Alrighty. Let's start off with the NFC North. You got the Bears, you got the Lions, you got the Packers, and you got the Bears and the Vikings. I think I said Bears twice. We're off to a hot start. Zo, I'm gonna let you lead this one off as the guest of honor. Run through your NFC North, what you kind of expect, what you like, what you don't like. Give us the breakdown.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about who I got coming in third, second, and then I'll let you guys guess who's first and fourth. But third, I have the Bears coming in at 7 and 10. They're going to be competitive. I think Caleb Williams will be good. Like every rookie quarterback, the ups and downs. He's not going to be Andrew Luck. He's not going to come in ready-made and, hitting the ground. But they'll be 7 and 10. Second in division is going to be Green Bay, 12 and 5. I am not 100% sold on Jordan Love yet. 1 year does not make you a franchise quarterback, but they are.
His contract disagrees.
Experts. So that's what I'm saying. His contract disagrees. They're sold on him. So you know what? 12 and 5. Let's go. So I have Detroit and Minnesota left. Can you guess who I have last in that division?
Definitely Detroit.
Minnesota,
yeah, definitely Detroit. Definitely Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit. Yeah. No, the Vikings are going to go 3 and 14. They're going to be as bad as advertised. Lost their starting quarterback. Who's it now? Sam Darnold, I believe, is going to be
It is Darnold for the year, yes.
Out of fake USC, Sam Darnold, yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Did you just flip me off with your ring finger, Ryan?
No.
It looked like the ring finger when he did it.
And then
the ring finger
I have
is going to be
Detroit.
what fucking Sam Darnold puts, his jewelry on when he, next June.
Yeah, his national championship ring that he so has.
Yeah, fuck that noise. Fuck that
Fuck
noise.
you. Boo.
I have Detroit going 16-1. 16-1. Yes, I have Detroit. And again, as I told you guys before the show, I didn't get into this looking to I just went week by week and just picked teams to win, and that's what it turned out at. So yeah, I have them fucking tearing up the league. Dan Campbell has them believing. Jared Goff is playing. Last year he played out of his mind. I don't see that going backwards with a coach like Dan Campbell, because Dan Campbell pushes his players to beyond their own limits. So Jared Goff is not going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback, but god damn it, he's found a home. 16-1.
Who's their one loss to, out of curiosity?
I believe I had it to San Francisco. Are they playing San Fran this year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't remember off the top of my head.
It's like a dinner.
I think it was San Francisco. Yeah.
16-1. That's a good year. It's a pretty good year. Some people might say a great year. Ryan, let's go through your NFC North.
Okay, so when I did the schedule predictor thing, I lost all my results. What I'll say is this. I have the Green Bay Packers winning the NFC North.
Over Detroit in 1 year.
Over Detroit. One, and if you listen to the show last year, and if you listen to it now, if you look at who's on my dynasty team, I am a Jordan Love propagandist. It started out a little choppy last year, some highs, some lows. He's flipped a switch, man. He's actually looked really great from then on out, and the Packers made a big bet on him. But even besides Jordan Love, and that's a big besides because I think he's a special player, and it's like, holy shit, the Packers went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. That's remarkable. They have a really deep roster. Like, they brought people, including myself, truthfully, like years ago, and like even recently, gave Brian. I still struggle to say his name. Gutekunst.
Yep.
Gutekunst or some shit. Yeah.
Gutekunst. They gave him a lot of shit for how he managed the Packers, for how he operated things, for how he handled even taking Jordan Love in the first round. He sneakily built the Packers into one of the deepest football teams in the league. And I got to give him all of his flowers that, looking back on, maybe we should have gave him that. And I'll be the first one to admit when I'm wrong. And Brian, I was wrong. You're a good GM. Really good GM. The Packers, a really good roster. And I think they will be taking back their NFC North crown. As for second place, I have the Detroit Lions. I think that's it's either the Packers or Lions, one or two. I still really like, for what it's worth, the NFC North is my favorite division in football. Like, in terms of, like, I love all these teams. I really do. I have nothing bad to say about any of these teams, really.
I do.
Which team do you have a problem with?
You know
The
which
Packers?
team I have a problem with.
We'll find out. But I like all of them. I have a lot of good things to say about all of them. Detroit's just fun, man. Like, how can you not watch their NFC Championship run and not feel proud of them and feel excited for the organization and their future?
Because their fans suck.
Take that up with Tristan. I'm a Lions enjoyer, and my only hesitancy about the Detroit Lions is that while I love the culture Dan Campbell set, and I love everything he's done for that team, there are some decisions that are live by the sword, die by the sword, that have costed them. It's also one of them games, but it's going to cost them. And I think in the regular season, it's going to cost them a few games. It'll also win them some games, though, for what it's worth. Third place, obviously Chicago. For what it's worth, like, Ryan Poles is another guy that's just done, like, holy shit, like, what a job. You know, that Carolina Panthers trade, trade down and get the first overall pick, have the Panthers get the first overall pick, and the Bears just get, like, everything from them. Masterclass. And on top of
And the
that, he's
Panthers
done
use it
some
on Bryce fucking Young. Jesus Christ. What a lousy pick. Sorry.
He's made some he's made some moves that have been like not my favorite, but he's made some damn good moves. And like I said, masterclass of a trade that's built the Chicago Bears into a team that, well, I don't think they're there yet. They're not. Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, and Keenan Allen. And on top of that, you got Cole Kmet and DeAndre Swift as complementary options. How do you not, have the Bears? Like, hey, if you have Sunday Ticket, if you're one of the few people that are paying all that money, how do you not
Or you
have the
pay
Bears?
$13 a month with Sapphire on your Amazon Fire Stick.
We don't say that out loud.
Wait.
Zoe, you ever need to
Don't
hook
say
up?
the
Just
quiet part
text
out
me.
loud.
Just text me. We'll figure it out.
With that being said,
Gotcha.
the Bears are one of those teams where you want to watch them every Sunday because they might do some really exciting shit. They're not there yet, though, but they're going to do some really exciting stuff. And then the Vikings. Listen, Caleb and I are Sam Darnold propagandists, but I have to be realistic here. The 3 teams ahead of the Vikings are better than them as things stand. If Kirk Cousins was here, they'd be 3rd. But Kirk Cousins is not there anymore. He left for Atlanta and got like a mega bag. I think they'll be a respectable bad. They'll punch above their weight class in games that they shouldn't be punching above their weight class. And they'll get a top 10 pick, I think. And they'll hit the ground. I think the JJ McCarthy era in 2025 will hit the ground running. But for this year, they're going to be a fun bad team. And that's the way I have things shaking in the NFC North.
Alrighty. So Packers, Lions, Bears, Vikings in that order. All right.
Yeah.
So I guess as Big Zoe has the gray spinning ball of death lurking in his camera, I'll go ahead and I'll just lay it out. I agree that the Vikings are at the bottom of that division. I don't think they're going to be that bad, though. I think that team has a pretty high floor because of how good they are outside of the quarterback. Their wide receivers are very good. Their running back tandem with Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler, very good. Defense is getting better. Brian Flores, as much as we crapped on him for how he handled Tua Tagovailoa, is one of the top defensive coordinators in the league. I know that we were a little concerned that Zoe is gone, but I assume that he'll be back very shortly. Listen, this StreamYard thing isn't for everybody. Sometimes it's a little tough. It's a little hard to.
Just because I have the Vikings at last and even a top 10 pick doesn't mean they're going to be like dog shit. Like they're gonna steal a few games, but I do think over the course of a 17-game season, they're gonna fall valiantly. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's why I have them at 7-10, and that's the bottom of that division. If your bottom of the division is 7-10, you're looking pretty good. After that, I have the Bears at 8-9, only 1 game better. There's going to be some growing pains. It's going to take a while for this Bears team to really become what we think they can, because Caleb Williams, as much as he might be a generational talent at quarterback, he's still got to grow. And then Roma Dunze, great wide receiver, he's still got to grow. That defense, I think, still has a little bit of a hill to climb. But by next year, they're going to be competing, and they're going to be competing hard. This is going to be one of the best divisions of football, if not the best division in football, come next year. And then the top 2 teams, the Packers at 10-7. Like I said, it's a tough division. The NFC is getting a little better. It's a tough schedule. I think 10-7 is probably a sweet spot. I can see them going higher. 12-5, I don't think is out of the question. I can see them winning the division, but they just have to kind of surprise me a little bit more than I'm giving them credit for. And then, as much as it kills me to say it, and it annoys me that these Bucks are going to have a top end team, top 2 team in the NFC. I have the Lions taking that division at 12-5. I don't have them going 16-1 or anything like that. I think 12-5 is probably the sweet spot for them. I hate Dan Campbell. I hate the rah-rah, we're going to bite your kneecaps thing. Like, it feels so JV. I hate that it works. I really do. I hate that we lost professionalism in football. Just a little bit. I'm a hater. Call me Kaleb Felger.
I remember last year you're like, wait, Ryan's complimenting your team. He loves every other team in the NFC North or whatever.
What?
And now you're the biggest hater. Last year you were dumping on me for this stuff. Oh, hi, Zoe.
We have the Zoe phone.
All right. Can y'all see me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
My fucking computer. Sorry. Go ahead, dudes.
While you were gone, we were talking. StreamYard isn't for everybody. Some computers have a hard time with it. So I can send you an app a little bit later that has this on it. So the next time you come on,
Sure.
you'll have it and it'll be good. Ryan's on his phone right now via that app. I don't know if they have that app for the Androids or whatnot, but it's worth taking a look.
Yeah, no, for sure. Send it to me in a bit. But I'm good right now. I just got on my browser on my phone, so we're good.
Good. All right. So I have the Lions at 12-5. Zoe, I don't know if you caught my rant. I hate that we lost professionalism in football. I hate Dan Campbell. I hate the way he does things. I wish he was fired, and Ben Johnson was that head coach. It'd be a little bit more respectable of an operation. It feels a little JV. It feels a little Pop Warner, you know?
It's like Pop Warner, like Bryce Young size players, right?
Yes. No, it is. It's that for sure, but with grown men. And I hate that it works.
Trying.
I hate that it works. I don't like Dan Campbell. I don't like the vibe. You can be a fun coach, but don't be. I don't know. Is it wrong for me to say don't have so much testosterone in the locker room? Like,
bro, it's football, man. I mean, what the fuck do you expect in the locker room?
So listen, and as a perfect head coach in my mind, I had the perfect head coach for 20 years. It was Bill Belichick. Very much professional. I don't want to say it's very militaristic, but that's not. It was in order. It was a calm fashion order. We're gonna go in there and we're gonna do our job. Nothing extra, nothing sugary, nothing sweet. We are just gonna go in there and we're gonna beat you.
Yeah, we're gonna go in there and work you.
Dan Campbell is like, I'm gonna bite your kneecaps. Look at me, I'm a rabid animal. I'm like, it's not for me. I hate it. I hate it. Not for me.
That's fucking hilarious. The bite your kneecaps.
Don't love it. I don't love that look for my football team.
Well, it's a good thing the Lions aren't your football team then, right?
No, seriously, right. Look at me being like, I'd much rather have my 3-14 Patriots.
I was going to say, I mean, if the Patriots go 3-14 and the Lions go, 10-7, 11-6, whatever, you wouldn't trade Jared Mayo for him?
No, I would not. I hate Dan Campbell that much. I am stubborn. I'm stubborn.
That noise, bro.
Dan Campbell, I would trade Gerard Mayo for Ben Johnson because I think Ben Johnson's the guy that's doing all the work over there. I think Dan Campbell is an amazing culture setter. He is able. He set the culture. He got the Lions players invested in winning, invested in playing. As much as I disagree with the stupid crap he says, he got them motivated. He's got them going. I don't think he's a very smart football coach. I don't think he knows X's and O's all that well. I think Ben Johnson does a lot of the heavy lifting over there.
Yeah.
So if you said we can have Ben Johnson, I'd be like, absolutely. Yes. Done. Give him whatever check he wants. Bye-bye, Gerard. But we're not quite there. So just to recap real quick, get off my Lions hatred. 12-5 for the Lions, 10-7 for the Green Bay Packers, 8-9 for the Bears, and 7-10 for the Vikings. Let's go to the AFC North. I will kick it off because I went last. I have a tie for first place. I do. I have the Ravens.
Right.
Ravens at 12-5. For some reason, they own the tiebreaker. I have Cincinnati at 12-5.
Interesting.
This is assuming that Joe Burrow stays healthy and Jamar Chase kind of has his contract situation all settled and done. He told Zach Taylor that he was going to practice, and he showed up to practice in his streets and just stood there. So something about those contract negotiations didn't go well. But you got to have him. You got to make sure Joe Burrow is healthy. 12-5. I feel like that's about their ceiling is a lot higher than that. I think their ceiling could be 13-4, 15-2. I think they could be a really good football team, but a lot of questions. I think 12-5 is a sweet spot. And then I have the Browns at 10-7 making the playoff. And listen, that quarterback situation is very concerning. Deshaun Watson, we do not know what he's capable of anymore. It was a bad year last year, injury riddled, didn't play great football. And then Jameis Winston is their backup, and I think that there's probably 85 quarterbacks I'd rather have than Jameis Winston. And that's not an exaggeration. I think there's 85 quarterbacks I'd rather have.
All right. Bailey Zappi or Jameis Winston?
Bailey Zappi.
That's what I'm saying right there. That's funny.
I think I'd rather have Jameis than Zappi.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Well, from what it sounds like, you said you have the Browns at what?
10-7. 10-7. They're the 7th seed in the playoffs.
So at the end of the day, Deshaun Watson does deliver a happy ending for them.
Ha ha! That's the humor we've been missing on this show. But listen, that defense is amazing. That offensive, if you take away the quarterback, right? Just put on blinders and look at everything else. Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore, David Njoku, Nick Chubb when he comes back, Jerome Ford is a more than capable running back. Kevin Stefanski is your head coach play caller, and that offensive line is always pretty good. I think the Browns at 10-7 is a bit of it's a sleeper. I think if you bet on that over, you're going to be sitting pretty. And then I have the Steelers having their first losing season under Mike Tomlin at 7-10.
Yeah.
You cannot live in a world where Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are your two quarterbacks, and neither of them really demanded the job. They just kind of backed their ass into it. So don't have a ton of faith in the Steelers this year. I think 7-10 is the spot. Ryan, I'll kick it to you. What's your thoughts on the AFC North?
Well, I have the Baltimore Ravens winning the AFC North. And I think at this point, we know what Lamar Jackson is. He's an elite regular season quarterback with some left to be desired in the playoffs until he can prove it further notice. And I want Lamar to break through. I love him. One of my favorite football players in the league. He just hasn't yet. And that football team in Baltimore is just stacked top to bottom, man. Holy shit. Every single year they reload. They're not going to die. They're the cockroaches of the NFL. They will never die. With that being said, I still think they choke in the playoffs. But for now, they're regular season warriors. Until they beat the allegations, they will be regular season warriors for the entire Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh. Holy shit.
You got two Harbaughs in the NFL now. Try to keep up.
Yeah. One got done with cheating at Michigan's all right, you know what? Time to go back to the NFL before I get to death penalty. Yeah. I think Baltimore takes it. Cincinnati is second. Cincinnati will have their obligatory September. They're going to beat New England week 1, probably.
I was about to ask, do you think we have a chance week 1?
Listen, if they play the way they do in September normally, shit, maybe. But
can we start the season undefeated? Can we stop the count after week 1 as the best team in the NFL?
Week 1 Super Bowl champs, baby. Hank Banner 7. No, it's
Jacoby Brissett, NFL MVP.
Would it shock me if their only win in September comes against us? No, it wouldn't. With that being said, after the month of September, they play like the best team in football. It's quite hilarious. But if you're going to throw 4 games, 3 or 4 games down the toilet, especially when Baltimore is your competition, unfortunately, you're going to finish second in your division. As for third and fourth, I'm not really overly bullish on either the Browns
No,
or
me
the
neither.
Steelers. I would give it to Cleveland because I think their roster is a little bit better. I like their coaching staff a little bit more.
Well, they lost a huge piece of their coaching staff in Alex Van Pelt.
Yeah, the man that will save New England.
He's doing such a great job with the offensive line in New England.
Yeah. Well,
Did you watch that preseason games though?
No, I didn't.
We had one offensive tackle with 4 illegal formation penalties. He was lined up.
Oh
He
my
was lined up
God.
6 feet behind the line of scrimmage.
I mean, do they not teach him this shit in high school?
No, there's a reason why Pittsburgh ran him out of town. Anyways,
Anyways, both of these teams, it's just kind of like I give the edge to Cleveland because they have a better roster, and it's kind of splitting hairs off of how Deshaun Watson's played since being traded there, but they have the better quarterbacks ish. If you want to say the Russell Fields is like the whoever's starting. I know Jake Glazer said today that Russ is their starter.
yeah, Russ is the guy in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But
not great. No,
yeah,
not at all.
Both of them are mid.
With Pittsburgh,
being
it's
said,
kind of like one of those
Cleveland
things
will-
like you can't keep getting away with this. Like,
I will say this. I think Tomlin will not have the losing record thing.
you think it'll go 9-8?
I think they go I think they go 9-8. And I also think Cleveland goes 9-8 too off a tiebreaker. Like,
So every team in the division has a winning record.
yeah, but it's kind of like all fugly. Like it's like the bottom 2 are fugly, and then like the top 2 are like, supermodels. If that makes sense.
I think Pittsburgh could be a
supermodel
disaster.
after September, and the other one becomes fugly in January.
All right, so you're AFC North.
I got Cincinnati winning the AFC North. I got them going 14-3. There's a feeling I have about them. I don't think this Chase thing is going to play itself out into the first week of the season, and I think they're not going to start off slow like they normally do. Cleveland second, 11-6. I like the Browns. There's something about them that strikes me as, they're going to be pretty decent. They're not going to win the whole thing. So, spoiler alert, they don't win the Super Bowl this year. But I think they're pretty decent. I think at some point Deshaun Watson gets injured. He just happens to get injured every fucking year now. And Jameis Winston goes in and probably goes like 5-2 or something to keep them afloat. And I something about them. Baltimore 10-7. And they make it as a wild card. They make it as the last wild card in the AFC. And then Pittsburgh, same as you, Caleb. I have them first losing season under Tomlin, and I have them 8-9. If they can manage to go 9-8 or better, because I mean, for me, Tomlin is already in that upper echelon of all-time coaches. If he can pull off some sort of miracle, and with Russell Wilson and or Justin Fields still go over 500, he has to be vaulted up there in the top 4 of all time. Just because it is, and I say it facetiously because it's like
Tomlin is a top 4 coach.
No, I say it facetiously because it's like, who the fuck can do that with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields? So if he can somehow get them there, it would be, I'll tell you what, it would probably be the biggest miracle ever worked in NFL history. That would be a big miracle. He wouldn't be a top 4 coach, but he would have worked probably the biggest miracle in NFL history if he can get that squad to be over 500. So that's what I got.
run it through one more time, just by record.
Bengals 14-3, Browns 11-6, Ravens 10-7, Steelers 8-9.
So you're feeling good about Cleveland?
Yeah. And I honestly think, like I said, Jameis Winston plays a pretty big part in that. I think Deshaun gets hurt at some point because ever since he stopped getting massages. He seems he can't stay on the field. And so Jameis gets in there, goes 5-2, 6-3 or something, keeps them afloat, and then Deshaun comes back and they fucking blow it in the playoffs.
All right, Ryan, NFC South. This was your home for about 2.5, 3 years.
Well, a player was my home. I don't know about.
I don't know. I think you were a Tampa Ryan over there.
No,
in that
a
fever
player
dream.
was my home. Fuck that org.
That was a fever dream, Tampa Tom. Let's go to this NFC South. Let's talk about it. What do you think's going down over there?
Well, let's be real here. This division's just kind of like a bucket of bleh. With that being said, I think in his first year with the Atlanta Falcons, Kirk Cousins wins the NFC South.
Kirko Chains.
Now,
feel free to laugh, though. Feel free to laugh.
Super impressive.
That's going to take a lot of prayer from him. But yeah.
Will it be a super impressive division win? No. But it's a divisional win nonetheless.
So the Falcon in the contract negotiations, the Falcons went up to Kirk and they said, "Hey Kirk, can you take me higher?" And he said, "Yes, I can." He signed on the dotted line.
That's right.
Do they play the Falcons this year, or do the Falcons play the Vikings this year? Because when Kirk goes to Minnesota, when he goes to Minnesota, he'll be, "Hello, my friend, we meet again."
Oh, Minnesota's wishing they hadn't let him go, aren't they?
I'm 6 feet from the ledge, and I'm thinking. Anyways, not to steal your thunder.
But Atlanta, they do have a really talented roster. Kirk is old, turns 36 in November, I think. Coming off a blown Achilles. And they have Raheem Morris in his redemption period as head coach. They will, I think, win the division. It won't be anything super spectacular. They'll have some games where Atlanta is really exciting, and I think they'll have a couple duds. But they'll win the division.
Typical of NFC South ball, yeah.
Yeah. At second place, I have the Bucks.
That's an integrity pick.
I don't think they're anything super special. They have a solid roster for what it's worth. Jason Light's done a pretty good job there. I do wonder how the offense will operate without Dave Canales, who was a breath of fresh air for them after Byron left, which is, attempt to call an offense. Let's just put it at that. With that being said, they're kind of by default the second best team in the division because the other two teams, the Saints and the Panthers, are teams I'm pretty low on. The Saints, roster-wise, mid. Mickey Loomis has essentially put himself into credit card debt that's going to take years and years and years to fix. Dennis Allen, I don't see it with him as a head coach.
He could be fired by week 5.
Yeah. Not impressed. Not impressed with how the Saints... Essentially, you know what? I'll be real here. After the 2017 draft, which everyone places a feather in Mickey Loomis's cap, he has been, at least by Saints fans, and now they're kind of seeing the light. I think a lot of them are seeing the light, I should say. When after that draft, he was the most overrated GM in sports by far. Because every single year they go, trust Mickey, trust this shit. Look, he's pushing the cap back again. Holy shit, he's a fucking genius. He just pushed the cap back again. How did they get out of this fucking debt? Oh my god, they're 60 million in the red. How will they do it again? Well, they had a window there. The fucking, you keep on racking up debt and you don't know how to pay it off. Tony Soprano's at your fucking doorstep now, guys. Fucking Paulie and Silvio are fucking waiting. Your team is not good. And your depth is not good. Your drafting has not been good. You're paying Derek Carr $40 million a year to essentially lift your team up to be mediocre. In that case, Derek Carr's not doing his fucking job. You hire Dennis Allen after Sean Payton's like, I see the writing on the wall. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Your org is in hell. They're in football hell. And I don't want to say I told you so, but at the same time, with the way Saints fans are acting about Mickey fucking Loomis, I told you so. You can't sustain this forever. Keep putting your team in fucking credit card debt every year. You're gonna keep on bankrupting yourself, man. All right.
And the Panthers just suck.
And the Panthers, I like Dave Canales. We'll make jokes about his frame and stuff. I do like Bryce Young. I adore Xavier Legette and the beautiful accent.
I think Zoe is taking bigger shits than Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took one earlier today.
Motherfucker, man.
I think Andy could take Bryce in a fight. I really do.
Yeah, and my son could beat the shit out of him. My daughter, she's 14. She's 5'8". She's about his height.
Man.
Listen, the way Zoe's laughing, I can kind of sense he needed this.
Woo, this is fucking great.
All right, I'll take the NFC South next. I got the Falcons winning at 10-7. I don't have them better for a couple of reasons. It's a brand new administration, it's a brand new quarterback, and a brand new offense. A lot of stuff is new. There's going to be growing pains, but I have them winning the division because I think they're the most talented team. Period. Hands down. Done. As I was running through this, it ended up as the Saints being the second team at 8-9. Maybe they're having like a Raiders situation where after they fired Gruden, they ended up in the playoffs. It could be something similar, but obviously not a playoff team. I have them at 8-9. I think Derek Carr is a fine quarterback. You can do a whole lot worse than him. A lot of the problems, I believe, are on the Saints offense. A lot of the problems he had in his last year in Vegas was a Josh McDaniels problem.
Oh, fuck Josh McDaniels.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. So I feel like Derek Carr, if in this offense, like with the weapons around him, if he can just get a capable play caller and a capable coaching staff, I think he could be fine. I think he's still got a couple years of good football left. Then the Falcons, the Bucks at 7-10. I don't have a great example of this, so I can just kind of point it out as, hey, they just lost an offensive coordinator. We saw what happened with the last guy they had before Dave Canales. Not great. Who knows if this next guy is any good? Mike Evans turning 31, turning 30. Chris Godwin, I think maybe he's starting to look at, injury issues, getting a little older. Defense lost a couple of good players, I think, too. So we'll see. And then the Panthers, I had
by good players, you mean Devin White?
No, I meant the corner that they lost.
Oh, shit.
Carlton Davis.
They traded Carlton, yeah.
Yeah.
I love Carlton.
Really good football player. And then I had the Panthers at 2-15. I think they could be a lot better than that. But I just kind of got to see it. First. Let's see some strides.
Well, I was gonna say about the Panthers. I think they will actually punch a little bit above their weight class.
I think they'll hang in games for sure. I think they'll be.
They don't have
They're
a
gonna
choice.
be bad.
They're
gonna be bad.
Bryce Young doesn't weigh anything. He has to.
Yeah. He has to punch up. Yeah.
They're gonna be top 5 pick bad, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel that, like, after last season, wasn't there. And I think another year where they, at least show something and show a little optimism, and they get another blue chip talent with a top 5 pick that they'll actually own. Because holy shit. Like I said with the, earlier about the Bears, holy shit.
The roster, I think, is just too bare bones. Like,
yeah.
They're starting from the bottom, truly.
Yeah. With that being said, I do think they are going to hang in there.
What do you have them at, Ryan? What do you have their record at?
I think their ceiling's 4 wins. I think their floor is 2.
You don't think they could go 0 whatever?
No. Do you know how rare that is, like, truthfully?
I think the Patriots could do it.
I don't know. No, not if May gets in the game. We'll talk about it later, but not if May gets in it.
Yeah, we say the AFC East for last, you people. All right, Zoe, let's go through your NFC South. Try to keep it together, shall you?
All right, NFC South. Again, this is just all gut feeling here. All right, I think Tampa wins it, 11-6.
Okay.
I Baker Mayfield seems to have, like, he loves playing there, and they like having him there. He's that kind of guy. If he's excited where he's at, all good. So
good fit.
Looks like that's it. I have New Orleans 8-9, and they do get the last wild card seed in the NFC. I'm with you on that, Caleb. I don't think Derek Carr is as bad as everyone else thinks he is. Is he great? No. Is he horrible? Fuck no. And a division like that, which I have is the second worst division in the NFL, they get in at 8-9. That's fine. Atlanta 7-10. My whole problem with them is the Achilles, the torn. Coming back from an Achilles at 30. How old is he? 36, 37 years old. You're not a spring chicken anymore, man. I mean, that shit takes longer to heal. And so I'm just wary of how Kirk Cousins is going to come back, and it's not just the physical; it's the mental part. You're concerned about that thing rupturing again. You're concerned about taking a wrong step, someone stepping on you incorrect. So he's a really good quarterback. I just don't know how he's going to come back from that. Like mentally, if he's going to be able to come back. At least this year. The year after, once you have a year under your belt, you're good. Okay, I can do this. And then Carolina, I have Carolina pulling off the rare feat of 0-17. That is the worst fucking team in the league. And it's close because I have 2 other teams at 1-16, but 0-17. And this is the last year of the Bryce Young experiment. After this, you can't keep him around anymore. He ends up playing in the flag football league, ends up playing flag football in the Olympics in a few years.
Yeah, he's playing the Youth 60.
Yeah, he's gonna play with NFL flag.
He's signing up at your local rec center.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Andy to play flag football here. There's gonna be this fucking kid fast as shit in the other team. Who's that? Wait, that fucker. He's got a beard. That's Bryce Young.
I can't wait for the Andy Maestas Bryce Young QB competition at the.
Bro. No, I just want Andy to knock his ass out. That's what I'm gonna. That's what I'm,
Parks and Rec.
No. I can tell Ryan fucking hates this dude. That guy is trash. He's NFL trash. And I say NFL trash because he would whoop my ass at the quarterback position any day of the week. But I'm not a fucking NFL quarterback. And by the way, neither is he. 5 foot, 8, 9, can't see over the fucking line. I mean, here's a guy who in college had everything built around. Oh my, you were at Alabama. You were going to be better than everybody, no matter who you put at behind center. Carolina has no talent. Bryce Young he's a talented enough quarterback, but he's not an NFL quarterback. Too small. No, I'm sorry, man. This is year 2, and this is the year that they're like, all right, we see that we fucked this up, and they're going to turn on and hope the Bears give them some draft picks back, and the Bears are going to laugh in their face.
You have any rebuttal on the Bryce Young take, Ryan? The quarterback that Zoe has eaten bigger burritos than?
Listen, he might be a bite-sized human being, but he can sling it a little, man. Like I think he could fucking sling it.
Uncle Rico could sling it too, but you didn't see him playing football.
Yes, we do. His name is Gardner Minshew.
I'll tell you what, I would take Gardner Minshew over Bryce Young. If I'm the Panthers this year, fuck yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that guy. Bryce Young, yeah, ride the bench. Wait, we're not.
Zoe's done. Zoe's done.
I'm done with him. I'm done with him. Done with him. Yeah. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. He's it's over.
You want to talk about your next favorite quarterback in your next favorite division? Yeah, the AFC South.
Talking about me or Ryan?
You. I'll let you go right into it. There's another quarterback I know you hate.
Okay, let's do it.
The opposite of Bryce Young.
I'll start off from the top going down here. Jacksonville's going to win the division. And again, I just picked games week after week, and this happened 13-4. I don't know how the fuck that happened, but I have 13-4.
That's what happens when you acquire Mac Jones.
I think that's exactly. They're going to win. I think that's a bit much, but I have to stick with it. It's what I put in the playoff predictor thing. It is what it is. Houston second at 9-8, and unfortunately for them, that leaves them out of the playoffs in the AFC. And I think they're good enough to make the playoffs. So
I think they're good enough to win the conference.
Like I said, I just put picks in week by week is what came out. I think they're better than that, and I think Jacksonville is not as good as the picks I did on a weekly basis. So we'll see how that pans out. Tennessee not going to be any good. 6-11. They just traded Malik Willis away. Who's their starting quarterback now?
Will Levis.
Will Levis. Okay.
Mayo man.
Yeah. I think Levis will be okay.
He also had a sex tape leaked on Twitter.
Oh, did he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I last year I was disappointed that he drops into the second round. This year I'm like, all right, bro, 6-11 I think is what you have. The Tennessee sucks. They're not a good team.
I hate Tennessee because they got rid of my boy Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, they're
who is now a defensive assistant in Cleveland. So points to Cleveland.
Yeah, they blew it up for no reason. So, I don't think it's going to be Will Levis's fault, but I think they're not going to be very good. And then the Colts, 1-16 with fucking Anthony sorry ass Richardson, DK Metcalf under center. That's what he is. I said it last year when they drafted him. I got made fun of. He got hurt, so I didn't get to prove my point. If you watch him in the preseason, he's proving my fucking point. Motherfucker sucks. He was not a good quarterback. He was not a good quarterback at Florida. He had like 3 good games. They're like, oh my God, look at the talent on that guy. Look at the talent on that guy. You know what? Run tape on anybody in the country in college. Find their 3 best games, and you will say, look at the talent on that guy. Oh, he's a freak of nature. I'm not hiring a bodybuilder. I am hiring a quarterback. I don't care how fast you can run the 40 if you can't play the quarterback position. I saw him a couple weeks ago start off 7 for 8 and then missed like the next 10 passes he threw. And they're like, well, there he is. He's back to where he was. And I'm sitting there thinking, you guys blew this fucking pick. Let me tell you, he's Bryce Young bad, but it's worse for him because he's big and he should be able to see and throw. He can't be. At least Bryce Young.
Zoe thinks that Anthony Richardson is what Joe Milton is.
I would take Joe Milton over Anthony Richardson.
No,
yeah.
I know about that, Jim.
Yes, fuck that noise, bro. Hey, okay. After the season's over, I want y'all to come back and apologize to me. All right? because that shit's going to happen. And you know,
he
at
won't
least
be Joe Milton bad. Joe Milton stinks.
after the season's over and Anthony Richardson has gone about half the season and they replace him because he sucks, come talk to me again. Let's just put it that way.
I'll bring Trent, and we'll see what happens.
I can hold my own. So
No,
you
I
know
think
that.
Trent will get like really pissed and rage quit. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I would sit here just laughing and he'd probably just get mad. I'm like, you know, the truth
Colts
fucking
fans
hurts.
will do that. Colts fans. Ryan, what do you make of this NFC, this AFC South?
Well, I have Houston winning the division. Honestly, quite handedly.
I do too.
They're just the best team in the division by far, roster wise. Everything Nick Caserio's done there has just been like, holy shit! Like, you know, can we have him
Real
back?
pain in the ass knowing what we lost.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I think the CJ Stroud guy is pretty good.
He is
Yeah.
damn good.
Pretty fucking good.
Well,
And
Zoe thinks
I
he's
don't
the
know
only
about you
quarterback worth a
guys.
shit in that draft.
Oh, you guys, look at the receiver room. It's pretty fucking good.
3 number ones.
Yeah,
Until
the
Stephon
defense-
Diggs gets mad again and causes a rift between him and his quarterback. Then they'll have 2 number ones.
Hey, they got him on a 1-year rental. Like there won't be enough time for it to really stick.
That's true.
I look at their coaching staff. It's pretty fucking good. Their defense, pretty fucking good. Houston, man, went from one of the biggest disasters in the league
Mhm.
to
The best
these
team in
guys
Texas.
have a real chance to win the fucking AFC.
Yeah.
They're fun, man. I love CJ Stroud. The Texans they're going to become one of definitely like, you know, like a Sunday ticket team of mine. You know, I will be following in on the Houston Texans because they're going to be an electric factory.
How about Maxonville?
I have them at second. I don't overly love the Jaguars, but
I think they're a bucket of mid. Like they're just gonna underqualify. They're just underperform at every single turn. That's what they do.
they'll have some highs, and then like they'll have too many what the fuck games.
Trevor Lawrence rolls his ankle, and it's like he's gonna play injured. It's not gonna be fun. Like they lost their best offensive weapons and replaced it with what? Gabe Davis.
I like Brian Thomas Jr. a lot. I think
We'll see.
But yeah, he's a 21-year-old going into that situation. I have the Colts at third.
What's the record?
I am not with Zoe at all. I'm higher on Anthony Richardson.
That dude sucks, bro. That dude sucks. Trash.
Anthony Richardson is the guy you take the highs and lows with. You take the highs with the lows. He's gonna have a lot of plays where he looks like a superhero, and he's gonna have some plays where you go, Anthony, what the fuck? With that being said, I like their head coach, Shane Steichen. I think their wide receiver room is really good. Jonathan Taylor is really good. They're going to ground and pound you to death, and then when you start to, stack the box, they got enough talent there to, punch you in the face. And defensively, they're solid. Nothing like super special, but they're solid. They're going to be good. They're going to be good, but they're not going to... I don't think they make the playoffs yet. And if they do, it's a 7th seed. But they're going to be one of those teams that are just like, I don't want to see these guys on the schedule, especially if they have to go play in a cold weather environment. Do you want to tackle Anthony Richardson or Jonathan Taylor?
Not really.
No. They're hammers, man. And then, not only that, Michael Pittman Jr. is a fucking chiseled wall of a human being, too. He's like 6'4", 225. Like, Have fun with that. Yeah. Titans are just.
First year of a rebuild.
I don't know how much I like their head coach Brian Callahan. Their roster is just They're kind of tearing it all down, and their roster was always just kind of like hanging on by a thread. Like they were always good, not great. 7 seed at best. Vrabel got more out of them than they really should have gotten. But it's a team now where I look at them and I'm like, it's time to blow it up. If Will Levis is anything, that's cool. If he's not, whatever. You're getting a top 5 pick, I think, likely this year anyway. Just take the highs.
And you'll pay up the ass for the Patriots #1 pick.
Yeah, please. Please.
We will leverage the crap out of you. All right.
So, yeah.
My AFC South, I got the Texans at 13-4. They're a great football team, great football organization. I think there's a real chance they could win the AFC. Up in second, the Colts at 9-8. I also do not share the sentiment of Anthony Richardson. But I don't know. He could suck. He could very well blow. I didn't see enough of him last year. I liked what I saw. I'm willing to believe that the injury he had was freak, but we'll see. Then I have the Jaguars at 7-10. I'm not a believer. I think the conversation needs to be had about Trevor Lawrence not being as good as we thought he was. We enjoy the idea of Trevor Lawrence a lot more than what he has been. I think it could be a rough wake up call for. I'm not saying Mac Jones is going to take his job because I think Mac Jones as a starter is pretty much done. But don't feel good about Jacksonville.
Someone correctly said this. He's essentially a taller Jared Goff as of right now.
More athletic Jared Goff. I like that.
Like, really robotic, makes some amazing throws, but then there's a lot of, what the fuck? What are you doing here? Way too much of that.
And then the Titans at 3-14. First year of a rebuild. It's going to be messy. It's going to be weird. I like Calvin Ridley a lot. I think in fantasy, that's a guy you got to target. But not a great football organization. I think they're going to be the worst team in the conference. All right. What do we have after that? We have the West, NFC West. I'll start it. I'll kick it off. The NFC West. I have the Niners at 15-2. One of the best teams of football. They're going to keep it rolling. It's the San Francisco 49ers. Plain and simple. I have the Rams at 13-4. Despite losing Aaron Donald, I love the Rams. I love the setup that they have. Sean McVay, great coach. Matthew Stafford, still a top 10 quarterback in this league comfortably. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, great wide receiver tandem. Blake Corum, Kyron Williams, great 1-2 punch. And I think the defense is good enough to skate by. I really do. I think 13-4 is a great spot for them. I think the Rams are going to have a big comeback tour, and it's going to look great. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. After that, I have a tie. The Seahawks at 8-9. They're taking a little bit of a step back, and the Cardinals at 8-9. I think they're taking a little bit of a step forward. I think the Cardinals are going to keep building up and up and up. If Kyler Murray can stay healthy, Marvin Harrison Jr. is the guy that we assume that he is. I think my second home, my love affair of the Arizona Cardinals, I think they're going to be pretty good, and you're going to be going into 2025 like this is a team that could scare people. Zoe, I'll give it to you, NFC West.
So I start off with, I think, I don't consensus, but most experts pick the Niners 13-4. They're fucking good, Second, the Rams. I'm with you. I just Puka Nacua is amazing. I think. He was great last year. I think this year's going to be better. His ceiling is still high. Last year they weren't expecting him to do what he did, and this year it's like, holy fuck, man. So I got them 12-5, man. I got third Arizona 7-10. I think they're going to be exciting to watch. 7-10. I think that's as good as it gets for them. Honestly, Kyler Murray has a couple more years to show something there. He's a good player, but they don't win. They need to win. And then finally, Seattle, God, 4-13. I
You're
just don't see
expecting the
it.
wheels to fall off. Yeah.
Yeah, they're. I mean, under Pete Carroll, you knew they were going to compete every year. You have no clue what they're doing this year. So I'm just going with the under on that. Like I don't trust them. 4-13. Yeah.
Another team that could be searching for a quarterback.
Yeah.
All right. I got the 49ers winning the division. I mean, that's obvious. That's consensus. Still really curious. As of today, Brandon Ayuk is supposed to show up to practice and no-showed it.
Mm-hmm.
And now the 49ers are starting to put their foot down just a little bit. Can't wait for this drama to be over, but as of right now, hey, that's what's going on there. With that being said, even without Ayuk, I'm still like, they're pretty fucking good. Even then, I like Ricky Pearsall a lot, their first rounder. He might come in, and I don't know if he'll be Ayuk, but he'll be productive. And I mean, McCaffrey's McCaffrey. Purdy's pretty good. Purdy, you know what? Might be a bit of a systemish quarterback. Like he might operate within the Shanahan scheme, but he does it to a T. And man, he can dot it. When he's in his game, like on his game, man, he can dot it. I like him. I do like Brock Purdy a lot. 49ers defense still pretty good. I like their defense. Rams are number 2. Overall, I mean, as long as everyone stays healthy, and by everyone I mean Stafford and Cup, they're going to be pretty good. Yeah, you lost the greatest defensive player of our generation, and that's going to hurt.
Yeah.
But all in all, they had a pretty good draft, man. I like that they got Jared Verse in the first round, and I like their second round pick, Fiske out of Florida State.
I think you're underrating their free agency haul too. I mean, they got a really great quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, shut up. If we want to talk a free agent there, I did like Cameron Curl. I remember I played a Washington Commanders franchise mode. Cameron Curl was a beast for me in that franchise, man, and he's turned into a pretty good player. Yeah, evaluation on franchise mode, yeah. But the Rams seem to think he's a pretty damn good football player, and the stats say it too. So good for him. Good for the Rams. They'll be second. Third place, I have the Seahawks. I like Mike McDonald as the head coach.
I do too.
I think, every single defense he's ever coached is a nightmare to go
Listen,
against.
if you're the Seahawks and you were searching for a head coach to like go toe to toe with McVay and Shanahan, a great defensive mind like that was the way to go.
Yeah. And on top of that, I'm in the minority, it feels like at this point. And I said this, I think, last night, maybe. I still like Geno Smith. I still do. Is he a perfect quarterback? And should the Seahawks maybe look at replacing him? Sure, he's in his 30s now. He's on a relatively big contract. But who's to say, last year, kind of underwhelming. I didn't like the way their offenses ran, to tell the truth. And I know their offensive coordinator is running the Bears now, and I was relatively bullish on the Bears, but I think the Bears have more talent. I think there's at least an opportunity for Geno to still say, I can do it still, and keep on making sure he doesn't write back. And last place, and it's not a bad last place. It's the Cardinals. They're going to take a big step forward, but a big step forward for them.
Not
Unfortunately,
the same
still
as
means
everybody
less.
else. Yeah.
With that being said, they're going to be fun. They're going to be a fun bad team. They're going to be in every game. Kyler, almost a Murda Marv. Oh, geez. Well, I said now.
Murda Marv.
Murda Marv
He's got
Jr.
that killer instinct like his dad.
That's a little bit of a Freudian slip right there, man.
Yeah, that's a killer for sure.
Yeah. Listen, Marv Jr., man, I'll say this right now.
Deadly.
All the jokes aside,
Yeah, God did those jokes.
At my work, I had a few players from Ohio State come in. And I talked to them for a little bit. I was ringing them up. They're buying new clubs and shit. I work at a golf store. And I felt the opportunity to ask them, who is the best player you've played with at Ohio State? And one of the guys had played with all of the Ohio State receivers in the past few years, like, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave,
JSN.
JSN, CJ Stroud, a whole whack of guys.
Kyle McCord,
yeah, the best. Justin Fields, even. If you look at first round prospects, right?
Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he wasn't there for Burrow. Even like Paris Johnson, right? Yeah, Paris Johnson. This guy plays offensive tackle. He's gonna be the starter. Josh Fryer, really nice guy. I wish the best for him. He's gonna be a favorite of mine, regardless of how he plays. He and his teammate, one of the backup centers, I forget his name off the top of my head. I'm sorry, buddy. You're really nice too. They both unanimously said Marvin Harrison Jr. was the best player they have ever played with. By far.
That's what you're hoping for.
I don't want to. It feels hard to say because how often do you see a kid of a Hall of Famer, and you're like, he could be better than his dad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How rare is that, man? Like when you think about it, this is one of those super rare cases where if you told me in 15 years Marvin Harrison Jr. was better than his dad, I would 100% believe you. He is built different, man. Him and Kyler are going to be an electric factory. With that being said, the Cardinals have a relatively weak overall roster. It's going to be like a classic Big 12 matchup. They're going to score a lot of points. They're going to give up some points. And for that reason, they're last. But there's bright days ahead, Cardinals fans.
AFC West. Chiefs at 14-3. I think they're going to win that division pretty handedly. And then it's a crapshoot after that. I'll take the Raiders at 6-11 at second.
6-11 at second.
Yeah, this is not a great division. Not a great division. I like Antonio Pierce. I like Max Crosby. That quarterback room is a crapshoot. That running back room is a crapshoot. I like Brock Bowers. I like Jacoby Myers. Devontae Adams is going to be demanding a trade by week 4. Not a great squad. Not a great squad at all. Then the Chargers. Herbert's injured. They don't have any wide receivers. They don't have any running backs worth a damn. The defense, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack. What are you really expecting there with all their injuries? Derwin James, all his injuries. It's going to be a slow climb to the top for them, 5-12. And the Broncos at 4-13. I feel weird about that. I think the Broncos could be a lot better than that. I think that they could finish the second place in this division with a 7-10, 8-9 record, something respectable. But like Zoe, I ran through this. The Broncos didn't get a ton of wins here. So that's kind of how I look at it. I don't mean to speed it up, but we have been here for an hour already. Yeah. I can see Ryan dying. So Ryan, I'll let you set the speed here going second.
Okay. I'll speed it up a little because I've been rambling a little bit. Chiefs, I mean, fuck. If they three-peat, are you surprised?
No, but I think you're pissed.
I'll be really pissed off because
I'm here for it. I love it.
No, I'm not.
I love seeing Patriots fans mauled. See, it's not better than our dynasty. We did it for 20 years.
I don't care about that. I just don't like Kansas City Chiefs fans.
I think Patriots fans are worse.
I think they're both pretty bad.
I like Zoe. I don't think you understand. I love pissing off our fan base. Like, it is one of my favorite things to do. I will post things just to piss them off.
It's a hobby of yours at this point. Yeah,
it is.
All right.
Like, ask
that being
Ryan about
said-
the days of Zappy Fever. Like, I was an asshole.
Fuck, Zappy Fever's dumb as fuck.
All right,
And
what
that
do you got in
guy,
second,
current
third, and
Kansas
fourth?
City Chief, Bailey Zappi, I should add, signed there today.
Yeah, practically.
With that being said, I have the Chargers in second. And while I do not think they make the playoffs, I do think Harbaugh, I'll make the cheating jokes and all that shit, whatever. He's a damn good football coach, man. And Herbert's a damn good quarterback. I know he's hurt. They're gonna, kind of win a little ugly some games. They don't have a whole lot of talent. Tom Telesco left them in a pretty bad shape, man. Not good. But they're going to have punchers' chances. They're going to steal games. I truthfully think they might take a game from Kansas City, maybe early in the year when Kansas City kind of works out their things. But they're going to be battling. At third, I have the Broncos. I'm still not overly high on Bo Nix. I think he can be good. But I don't know. I think Sean Payton's gonna hold his hand. With that being said, I do think Sean Payton will have that team fighting, and they have some solid players. They're just kind of the most average team in the NFL. I don't know about the most, but they're pretty average. They got some talent. They have some bad parts of the team, but they're gonna fight. And last place, I have the Raiders. Gardner Minshew is just he's Ryan Fitzpatrick 2.0 in terms of like vibes and the way he plays and all that shit. He'll have a few games where it's like Minshew mania, baby. We're back. It's an electric factory, and then he'll throw like 4 picks and like lose 45-0. And that's just how it goes. And it's why he'll continue to bounce around the league. He'll always get jobs because he's exciting for the few weeks he plays, just like Fitzpatrick.
All right. Zoe, rip it through.
Chargers 14-3. Herbert's ready to go. Herbert's ready to go week 1. Yeah, I have them at that. I have the Chiefs at 13-4. So who was it? Was it Caleb had them as the horrible division? I don't have them as bad as that at all. The division as a whole is not bad. Denver 10-7, but misses the playoffs. Again, I'm not sold on Bo Nix. I fucking hate him because of his Auburn days, and he was fucking pussy ass at Auburn.
Oh no, he was bad.
And then so it goes to Oregon, and all of a sudden he learned how to play. Fuck you, dude. You should have figured it out at Auburn. So I hope you don't succeed. But I don't think my hope is going to come true. I think Sean Payton's good enough coach to figure out how to use them. And then the Raiders 4-13, just a bad team. But even at that, I would take Gardner Minshew over Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson.
All right, NFC East. We'll make it quick. Nobody has won this division 2 times in a row. Who won it last year? Was it Dallas that won it last year?
Did Dallas beat Philly for it? Because both of them made the playoff.
Did the Cowboys lose at home in the playoffs?
The Cowboys hosted the playoff game.
Okay. Well,
So
I have the Cowboys winning the division. So first repeat in a little while. The Cowboys. I have them at 12-5. Defense is still really good. A lot of talent. Dak Prescott still a pretty good quarterback. I like them at 12-5. 11-6. I have the Eagles. Super talented roster. You're really gonna figure out if Nick Sirianni belongs in the NFL or not. Then you have the Commanders and Giants tied at 3-14. 2 awful teams, awful franchises. It's gonna be rough. Ryan, speed through it really fast.
All right, I have the Philadelphia Eagles at first. Despite the Sirianni and Hurts tension, I do think they're gonna eventually get over it. And if they don't, well, bye Sirianni. I have the Cowboys at second. It's fascinating. Dak's still up for contract, and Micah needs a bag. They gave CeeDee the bag. It'll be fascinating what goes on there. With that being said, the Cowboys will do Cowboys things, and this will be the year where they kind of have a little odd stuff happen to them. Third place, I have the Commanders. I'm more bullish on the Commanders than Caleb is, but I do think they're gonna, still be top 10 bad. But Jaden Daniels is gonna make their games at least not painful and unwatchable.
Unlike the Giants.
And The New York Football Giants are the worst team in the NFL.
I agree. I think that they're our competition for that first overall pick.
They are shit, and Daniel Jones is the worst contract in football.
Zoe, rip it through.
The worst division in the league. Dallas 11-6, Philly 8-9, Commanders 3-14, the Giants 1-16. And I put Daniel Jones down there with the Bryce Youngs and Anthony Richardsons of the world.
All right. AFC East. Zoe, this is me and Ryan's territory. I'm going to let you kick it off.
All right. Starting off, Buffalo 15-2. They just run through the fucking division. It's not even close. Miami comes in second, and they miss the playoffs. They come in at 9-8. The Jets come in at 9-8 and clearly missed the playoffs. And then New England, sorry guys, 3-14.
That's fine.
Gerard Mayo's probably got 2 years to figure this out, and he's not going to.
All right, Ryan. Rip it through.
I have Buffalo in the AFC East. I have the Jets at second. Even though Rodgers is coming off the blown Achilles, and as much as I hate the Jets and I can't stand the bullshit Aaron Rodgers peddles on a fucking weekly basis whenever he gets a microphone in front of his face, that team is good. They're good. I have the Dolphins at third because they're the ultimate,
finesse team in a strength conference. Yeah,
they're a finesse team. But when the weather dips below 50 degrees, we find out what the real Dolphins are. In fourth place, another year of shit. I'll say this for New England. If they can get the O-line figured out a little bit, and if Drake May comes in, we had this discussion last night, I think Drake can make the games a lot more tolerable, and I think we could probably steal a few games. We're going to be top 5 bad, but that's okay. I want Will Campbell in the draft anyway. He's a blue chip left tackle. It's fine.
With me,
just be watchable.
With me, I got the Bills at 13-4. Still the cream of the crop of the AFC. I think the Dolphins are going to start out hot as they always do. Then kind of peel off at the middle to the end of the season. I got them in the playoffs at 11-6. I had the Jets at 6-11. I think Rodgers he's not going to be the savior that everybody needs him to be over there. And despite that team being so good, it's Rodgers. I don't believe in their coaches at all. I think Robert Saleh is a hack. I think that Nathaniel Hackett is a hack. I don't see it with the Jets operation at all. They need a clean house besides their roster. I think the roster is great. They need a new quarterback and they need a new coaching staff. I have the Patriots for 3-14 like everybody else. They're going to be competing for the number 1 pick. I hate to say it. Hate to do it. All right, before we send it off, Super Bowl. Who's winning it and why? I'll kick it off. I have the Kansas City Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. I think the Texans are going to make it close. I think they're the second team in the AFC. I think that CJ Stroud is the guy waiting to happen because the other quarterbacks can't seem to get it done in the playoffs. And I don't buy it. Joe Burrow, I need to see it one more time from you in clutch games in the playoffs like that before I really call you the clutch guy, Burrowhead, all that fun stuff. I have the Chiefs. And as much as it kills me to say it, I think the Detroit Lions are going to their first Super Bowl. And in the game, I have the Chiefs winning, going for the three-peat. I do. It's just, how could you pick against them? They are the new Andy Reid, and Mahomes is today's age of Brady Belichick. It's hard to pick against them, especially in games like this. Zell, let's go to you.
I have the Chiefs falling to Buffalo in the AFC Championship game at Buffalo. I think Buffalo gets the 1 seed and finally gets over that hump in the playoffs against Kansas City. And then I have Detroit, by virtue of having the 1 seed, only 1 loss. San Francisco has, I believe I said 4. For Detroit gets the home game this year against San Francisco, and that proves to be the difference. Detroit makes the Super Bowl. I have Detroit beating Buffalo. Buffalo, another heartache in the Super Bowl that makes them 0-5. It makes Detroit 1-0 in Super Bowls.
All right, Ryan.
I have a rematch of, I believe, the first ever Super Bowl.
Packers, Chiefs.
Packers, Chiefs.
You think Packers are going to run the table?
I do. With that being said, Shoot me now, Chiefs 3-peat.
So
Yeah.
Zoe's the only one that's got it going a different way.
Yep. I
That's
don't even
been
have the Chiefs making the Super
That's
Bowl.
been the
Yeah,
story of this podcast. Zoe just taking it in a different direction. All right.
that's right.
Well, that's the show, everybody. That's our predictions for this year. We'll jump into the superlatives at a later date. We ran it a little thin, a little tight. So it was an honor, a blessing to have you on. Hopefully, let's do it again real soon.
Yeah, so we can do the superlatives at another time. I'm down to jump on. Let me know.
Awesome, Ryan. Double duty for us. Glad that we were able to hang it in there and get through. And yeah, enjoy your weekend, everybody. Enjoy Labor Day weekend. Me and Ryan will be back with you next week to talk about Week 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll have a starting quarterback by then. We'll figure it out, and we'll get Zoe in soon. It's going to be a blast. We're gonna have some fun. Zoe, thanks for coming on. Ryan, once again, pleasure doing double duty with you once again. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow the show. Follow Big Zoe and El Cabra Sports Talk. You can find them under our Friends of the Page section. And we will see you all next week. Go Pats, baby.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Foxboro BeatCast. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.